to talk with your mother alone as she will wish. If you do, you will bring great misery on both of us." So one Sunday the white bear said they could now sit out to see her father and mother, and she sitting on his back. They went a long, long way, and it took a long, long time. But at last they came to a large white farmhouse, and her brothers and sisters were running about outside it, playing, and it was so pretty, it was a pleasure to look at. "Your parents dwell here now," said the white bear, "but do not forget what I said to you, or you will do much harm both to yourself and me." "No, indeed," said she, "I shall never forget." And as soon as she was at home, the white bird turned round and went back again. There were such rejoicings when she went in to her parents that it seemed as if they would never come to an end. Every one thought he could never be sufficiently grateful to her for all she had done for them all. Now they had everything they wanted, and everything was as good as it could be. They all asked her how she was. All was well with her too, she said, and she had everything she could want. What other answers she gave, they did not learn much from her. But in the afternoon, after they had dined at midday, all happened just as the white bear had said. Her mother wanted to talk with her alone, but she remembered what the white bear had said and would on no account go. "What we have to say can be said at any time," she answered, but somehow no other her mother at last persuaded her, and she was forced to tell the whole story. She told how she continually went about in sadness, thinking how happy she would be if she could but see the white bear when he was a man, and how all day long she was alone and it was so dull. "Oh," cried the mother in horror, "he is very likely a troll. You shall have had a bit of one of my candles. Look at him when he is asleep, but take care not to let any tallow drop upon him." So she took the candle and hid it in her dress, and when evening drew near the white bear came to fetch her away. When they had gone some distance, the white bear asked her if everything had not happened just as he had foretold, and she could not but own that it had. "Then, if you have done what your mother wished," he said, "you have brought great misery on both of us." "No," she said, "I have not done anything at all." When they reached home, it was just the same as it had been before. A man came and lay down beside her. And late at night, when she knew he was sleeping, she rose and lit her candle. She saw he was the handsome prince eyes had ever beheld. She loved him so much, it seemed to her she must die if she did not kiss him that very moment. So she did kiss him, but let 3 drops of hot tallow fall upon his shirts, and he awoke. "What have you done now?" said he. "If you had but held out for the space of 1 year, I should have been free. I have stepmother who has bewitched me, so I am a white bear by day and a man by night. Now all is at end, and I must leave you and go to her. She lives in a castle which lies east of the sun and west of the moon. There is a princess with a nose 3 ells long, and now she is the one I must marry." She wept, but all in vain, for go he must. Then she asked him if she could not go with him, but no, that could not be. "Can you tell me the way then, and I will seek you? that I may surely be allowed to do." "Yes, you may do that," said he, "but there is no way there. It lies east of the sun and west of the moon, and never would you find your way there." When she awoke in the morning, both the white bear and the castle were gone, and she was lying on a small green patch in the midst of a dark thick wood. By her side lay the self-same bundle of rags she had brought with her. When she had rubbed the sleep out of her eyes and wept till she was weary, so she set out on her way. At last she came to a great mountain. Outside it an aged woman was sitting, playing with a golden apple. The girl asked her, "Do you know the way to the prince who lives east of the sun and west of the moon, and who is to marry a princess with a nose 3 ells long?" "How do you happen to know about him?" inquired the old woman. "Maybe you are the one who should have had him." "Yes, indeed I am," she said. "So it is you then," said the old woman. "I know only that he dwells in a castle east of the sun and west of the moon. You will be a long time reaching it if ever you get there at all. But you shall have the loan of my horse. Ride on it to an old neighbor of mine. Perhaps he can tell you. When you arrive there, you must strike the horse beneath the left ear and bid it go home again. But you may take the golden apple with you." The girl rode for a long, long way, and at last she came to the mountain where an aged woman was sitting with a gold carding comb. The girl asked her if she knew the way to the castle, which lay east of the sun and west of the moon. But she said what the first old woman had said. "I know nothing about it, but that is east of the sun and west of the moon, and you will be a long time in reaching it, if ever you get there at all. But you shall have the loan of my horse to the old woman who lives nearest me. Perhaps she may know where the castle is. When you have reached her, just strike the horse beneath the left ear and bid it go home again." Then she gave her the gold carding comb, for it might be of use to her, she said. So the girl seated herself on the horse and rode a wearisome way onward again. And after a long, long time, she came to a great mountain where an aged woman was sitting, spinning at a golden spinning wheel. She inquired if she knew the way to the castle, which lay east of the sun and west of the moon. "Maybe you should have had the prince," said the old woman. "Yes, indeed, I should have been the one," said the girl. But this old crone knew the way no better than the others. It was east of the sun and west of the moon. She knew that. "And you will be a long time reaching it, if ever you get there at all," she said. "But you may have the loan of my horse, and I think you had better to ride to the east wind, and ask him, perhaps he may know where the castle is, and will blow you there. But when you have reached him, you must strike the horse beneath the left ear, and he will come home again." And then she gave her the golden spinning wheel, saying, "Perhaps you may find you have a use for it." The girl had to ride for a great many days, for a long wearisome time, before she found the east wind. But at last she did arrive, and then she asked him if he could tell her the way to the prince who dwelt east of the sun and west of the moon. "Well," said the east wind, "I have heard tell of the prince and his castle, but I do not know the way to it, for I have never blown so far. But if you like, I will go with you to my brother the West Wind. He may know, for he is much stronger than I am. You may sit on my back, and then I can carry you there." So she seated herself on his back, and they went so swiftly. When they arrived, the East Wind went in and told his brother that the girl had brought he was the one who should have had a prince at the castle, which lay east of the sun and west of the moon, and now she was traveling about to find him.